The police caught a guy kidnapping a woman in Hillsborough. Luckily, they found her safe later on. It all went down on a Sunday, and someone nearby caught it on their camera. The video from the homeowner's camera shows the woman crying out for help before being taken away in a car.
Police have arrested the man seen in this video, allegedly kidnapping a woman in Hillsborough, Oregon. She has since been found and reported to be safe. It happened on Sunday and was caught, as you see, on nearby homeowner's camera.
The homeowner and her mom didn't hear the screams, but they heard knocking. Later, they checked their doorbell camera and saw what happened.
Right as I see it, I was like this is bad. Like, we gotta call 911. The incident happened at 10:48. I probably didn't know about it till like maybe 10:55, and at 10:59 I called 911.
The USS Yorktown is famous for harboring strange creatures, and many have noticed unusual movement, eerie sounds, and door slamming coexisting with shadowy apparitions in the ship.
School, and then fell in love with the place and went to work at age 14, just running papers, and now I'm currently an exhibit technician, just doing audiovisual interactive.
This incident happened in Charleston, the home of ghosts. At the ghosts' favorite site, the Yorktown USS. This ship has history ties with the Great World War. It was a safe haven for its crew members.
At either end of the passageway from where I was, there were chains hanging, and the chains were perfectly still. It'd be hard for me to believe that somebody was able to zip under the chain rope.
On the 23rd of January 2013, an investigation was carried out on the aircraft due to its notorious tales of ghosts. At exactly 2:30 in the morning, at the hangar deck, two ladies noticed a creature moving and called out at the being. Initially, they thought it was one of the crew members, but soon they realized who it was. It was a long white ghost wearing a black coat and a black hat.
The mom's replies that it's neither of the security officers I saw tonight, and it definitely was neither of those two security officers. It was a young white male walking past the drink machines wearing a black coat and had a black hat on.
On alert, one of the male investigators who was close to the scene decided to trail the unusual being. The male ghost that initially appeared to be human had a red button on the U.S. Navy military peacoat he was wearing. The man ran toward the being, but it instantly disappeared before his eyes. With his many years of working as a law enforcement officer, he had never seen a being vanish. This terrifying incident made the man give second thought to his job.
Where we are currently is we're up forward on the fourth deck near a Marines landing force equipment.
Other crew members in an interview shared their experience of strange encounters with ghosts, startling movement of objects, strange voices, and loud wailing at night.
A thermal camera video in the same location. So, that was pretty interesting, compelling evidence. We've had a lot of supports of seeing what's called the shadow man.
Due to the ship's ties with history, many have thought this ghost to be a noble being who fought for the freedom and peace they now enjoy.
They were our greatest generation. They certainly did plenty for us back when the ship was operational in World War II, and it is very important that we don't forget about where we came from.
Captured on a security camera in Arizona, there was an attempted kidnapping of an 11-year-old girl. The police released a video that showed the girl running from the suspect as she was heading to school. The 37-year-old man has been arrested and faces charges of attempted kidnapping.
Young girl running from the suspect as she was on her way to school. The 37-year-old man has now been taken into custody and faces attempted kidnapping charges. Our Zareen Shaw is in Los Angeles.
The scary part is that the man was the girl's neighbor. She had seen him outside her home acting strangely before. In the video, one can see the man's car making a sudden turn and jumping out to grab her. The girl who was screaming managed to escape.
And then that car does a sharp U-turn, turns right in front of that 11-year-old. The driver then jumps out. He extends his hands. He tries to grab her. That girl runs. She starts screaming. She luckily got away.
Captured on a supermarket security camera was a frightening sight. This time, a brave person stopped a man from trying to take a child at a CVS pharmacy. The hero said he acted because he thought of his own kid. The scary incident happened in Miami Beach back in February. The suspect tried to grab a child while his parents were leaving the store, but a good Samaritan jumped in and chased the suspect, helping the police catch him.
From a good Samaritan who chased down a man accused of trying to abduct a child at a CVS pharmacy. Now, it happened in February. Today,
The witness, who has 5 kids of his own, couldn't stand by when he saw what was happening. He ran after the suspect and called the police. Thankfully, the child was okay, and the suspect was caught.
It all happened so fast. While the 4-year-old and his parents were leaving CVS, police say 26-year-old Nicholas Sterneman came up from behind them when he tried to snatch the child.
The cops in Broward released a new video about this wild incident that happened in Pompano Beach. These 3 girls were just walking home, minding their own business, when, out of nowhere, an individual on a bike tried to talk to them. 2 of the girls bolted, but the 3rd one kept going until she saw the guy was tailing her. That's when she made a run for it, too. But the guy actually blocked her and tried to grab her by her hoodie. Luckily, she wriggled free and escaped.
When a man on a bicycle tried to get their attention, 2 of them ran off. The 3rd girl kept walking, but then ran away when she realized he was following her.
It was a very scary moment as a crazy dog attacked a man when he tried to rescue his puppy. The dog rescued is his son's favorite pet. An unusual event was caught on camera outside a residence, which left many frightened to the bone. A crazy dog escaped from its enclosure and attacked a young puppy. The puppy's owner ran to intervene when he noticed the deadly motive of the bully dog, but the dog grabbed on his shirt, pulling him to the floor in an attempt to get the puppy. Neighbors in the area joined in the battle to break the man and his puppy free. A ferocious animal attacks a hiker in the woods. This incident happened in the Great Smoky Mountains. This park, which draws over 4 million visitors each year, is not just known for its beauty, but also eerie stories of ghosts and strange happenings.
Thriving from the protection that the park places upon them. Although these animals are rarely aggressive and usually only approach people out of curiosity, sometimes these bears won't have the best intentions.
In 2003, Patrick embarked on an adventure in the park, eager to find solitude. He picked a remote spot near a creek, wanting to be alone, unaware that isolation could mean danger in a place where deadly creatures lurk during the day.
He arrived at campsite 82 on September 8th and was pleased to see how empty the area was, as it gave him the privacy that he had been looking for.
After setting up his tent to stay for a few days, he unpacked his belongings and decided to get a little rest. As the night grew quiet, a shadow of terror emerged. A massive bear, uninvited, stormed into Patrick's tent and dragged him out by the leg. Caught off guard, Patrick tried to use his firefighting skills to defend himself, but the beast was too strong.
The next morning, a group of investigators arrived at campsite 82 and were horrified by their discovery. They were immediately met by a 240-pound male black bear.
This black bear, weighing 240 pounds, proved to be more than Patrick could handle. When other hikers discovered him, they called the park's security, but by the time help arrived, it was too late. Patrick had been tragically mauled beyond recognition.
The animal would have used his massive body to smash down onto Patrick, shattering his ribs before beginning to bite and claw at Patrick's face and neck.
This Washington home invasion goes horribly wrong for the intruders, as the homeowner didn't hesitate to defend his property with any means necessary. CCTV footage shows the 3 armed suspects, whose faces were covered with ski masks, approaching the man's door. Two of the suspects made several attempts to kick the door and force it open, but what happened next sent all 3 suspects running for their dear lives.
Yo,
police!
Failing to forcefully open the door, the two suspects backed up as they heard gunshots coming from the other side. However, the third suspect still approached the door and tried to kick it down. He succeeded, but was immediately met with several shots fired, which sent him and his crew scrambling away. A deadly encounter with a massive sea beast nearly claims a diver's life. A giant shark delivers severe wounds, leaving him barely escaping with his life.
The team hope that Dickie, the seal look-alike, will lure a megashark in. Perhaps they will even be the first to document these giants mating.
Dickie, the diver, was placed inside a glass cage to capture footage of female megasharks off the coast of Guadalupe. The terrifying incident was all caught on camera.
Guys, the door is broken! I'm gonna have to keep it closed by hand!
The waters around Guadalupe are infamous for being shark territory. The gleaming glass cage quickly caught the attention of the predators, who began circling as Dickie was used as bait to draw them in.
Sharks down there! There's a few smaller ones up here with me, but as I look down, there are some pretty big sharks down there!
A colossal female shark, enraged by the diver's presence, launched a ferocious attack on the cage. In a desperate attempt to keep the beast out, Dickie scrambled to secure the door from inside.
Dickie struggles to keep the door of the cage closed.
The determined shark struck with even greater force, managing to sink her teeth into the diver's hand. The taste of blood made her more aggressive, and she shattered the glass cage. But in a split-second escape, Dickie fled before the predator could fully breach the cage.
Couple of close calls! Big sharks, small sharks! Some of them came very, very close!
In Queens, a mom and her teenage daughter survived an attempted abduction in their apartment building. This scary incident was caught on the home camera they had. It shows a man jumping out of a stairwell and grabbing the girl as she returns from walking her dogs. The mom, Adriana Alvarez, tried to pull her daughter back, but the man sprayed them with pepper spray. They fought, and thankfully, a neighbor stepped in to help.
PD responded. It happened on January 23rd, around 9 a.m. in Astoria. According to court documents, the suspect, George Vasilou, said, "I'm taking her away."
Unlike the other victims, this woman was not lucky and was kidnapped outside her home. Security camera footage shows her being grabbed and forced into a white pickup truck on Sunday. Although her family didn't hear her screams initially, they called the police as soon as they saw the video. The victim was found safe today, and the police say it wasn't a random attack. The suspect has been charged with kidnapping.
A woman outside of an Oregon home. Doorbell security camera video captured the horrifying moment on Sunday when a woman was grabbed from in front of a home, allegedly carried away again.
In this unfortunate incident that was caught on camera, two masked armed men attacked an elderly couple in Virginia.
Get in the crib, don't say nothing, don't say nothing. Y'all get in the closet right now.
They forced the elderly couple into a linen closet at gunpoint. While they were there, one of the suspects took the phones the elderly couple left in the sitting room. The suspects kept searching the house till they came out with a safe and left without being apprehended. It was a terrifying moment when a group of adventurers stumbled upon a mysterious beast. Strange voices echoed through the night, and loud knocks reverberated as unknown creatures moved in the shadows.
Get your Austin, get the loot.
The campfire, which had provided warmth and comfort, was suddenly extinguished as the creatures drew near. Panic set in, and everyone scrambled to the truck for safety. Darkness engulfed them, and for a brief, tense moment, the only sound was the trembling voice of a camper whispering something unintelligible to his friend. Then, the silence was shattered by the eerie wails of the creatures. Suddenly, the truck shook violently as the beast began pounding on it, accompanied by strange, haunting cries. Overwhelmed by fear, the campers fled the scene in a desperate rush to escape the unknown terror.
Everybody, get in my truck!
A terrifying fire outbreak plunged Tom Sayers Island into chaos, sending visitors screaming in fear and frantically running for help. The fire erupted suddenly, right after the show began, with flames shooting high into the sky. A witness's camera captured the intense blaze, while others on the scene described the fire's destructive force. Emergency crews quickly evacuated the visitors to prevent any loss of life, as the fire raged on, leaving a trail of devastation in its wake.
This performance cannot continue due to unforeseen circumstances. Thank you.
There was a violent robbery that a security camera recorded at a homeowner's place in Washington as home burglars barged in around 10:30 a.m., trying to kick down the bathroom door. Finally opening the bathroom door, the burglars entered, which made the homeowner, a woman, scream. They hastily stepped out of the bathroom after ripping off the jewelry she was wearing.
Not seriously hurt. This happened yesterday in Everett. The burglars ripped off jewelry off her neck, took her cell phone, and also...
They stepped back in the room, ransacked the bedroom for a short while, and then they fled the scene.
Not seriously hurt. This happened yesterday in Everett. The burglars ripped off jewelry off her neck, took her cell phone, and also ransacked the bedroom. They were gone.
This is a horrifying sight caught on a home camera. A young girl was grabbed right outside her apartment door in a terrifying attempted kidnapping. The assailant, masked and dressed in camo, ambushed the teenager from behind and forcefully dragged her away. What makes this story even more harrowing is the mother's immediate and instinctive response.
Terrifying moments, all captured on camera.
Adriana Alvarez, the mother, didn't hesitate to jump into action to save her daughter, despite the risk to her own safety. The ordeal unfolded in January as the 18-year-old daughter, Lex, was returning home after a morning dog walk. The attacker, identified as George Vasu, was revealed to be her daughter's former co-worker. Despite the violence inflicted upon her by Vasu, Adriana Alvarez courageously fought back, chasing after him as he dragged her daughter down 4 flights of stairs.
I never heard her scream like that.
You weren't thinking about your safety at that point.
No. No, absolutely not. No, it's my baby. Can't take her.
Some people believe that the soul of a person leaves the body after death. On July 29, 2014, a hospital CCTV camera captured this process live, and needless to say, it was extremely spooky. In the video, a corpse is laid on a bed in a room, and all of a sudden, the ghost of that person is clearly seen, coming out of the body and floating out the door. It is an incredibly hard thing to imagine, but this camera captured it, and the footage was uploaded. This next video shows a very big anomaly. In it, we see two people sleeping peacefully at night. One on a higher bed, facing up. Everything seems normal, but if you look closely, a flickering light can be seen entering the chest of one of the sleepers.
Someone goes into my
right
chest,
there, yeah.
right into me. And then
Then, a few seconds later, the same light emerged from the chest and went back out the way it came. It is hard to tell what really happened, but people in the comments of the video speculated that those were two spirits. Others speculate that the light that entered and exited was the person's spirit, going and returning. One night, a security guard was recorded interacting with someone, perhaps something that is invisible to the rest of us. A voice came from his walkie-talkie, asking who he was talking to, and according to him, he was talking to a lady he saw, whose name was Miss Abigail.
With someone or something we can't see.
Who is he talking to? Dispatch to 329? Yes, sir. Who are you talking to?
The lady on the other end expressed surprise as she told the guard that Miss Abigail had passed 2 years before. The guard asked if she couldn't see the person in front of him, and the lady replied, telling him there was no one there. The guard hastily backed away in panic.
Years now. Miss Abigail she died 2 years ago.
You mean you can't see the person I'm talking to?
No, there's nobody in front of you at all.
The security guard runs in fear after realizing.
The scary moment caught on camera when a skydiver jumps off a plane without his parachute. A mistake that cost him his life. Ivan McGuire got too excited about a skydiving lesson he was filming with other junior skydivers. Out of excitement to shoot a scene, he jumps off the plane without his parachute. This incident was totally devastating for all present.
Of the day. The veteran jumper had been shooting tape with a specially rigged camera when he jumped this last time, just seconds ahead of an instructor and student whose fall he was recording. Then, to his horror, the cameraman realized that
YouTuber Connor Does Adventure is no stranger to scary urban explorations. However, when he and his friends decided to visit an old abandoned tunnel, they encountered something they'll certainly never forget. Having explored these same tunnels before, the group wasn't expecting anything too strange or scary to interrupt their filming.
What's up, everyone? It's Connor Everything Videos. Here I have with me Cameron Cottom and Lucas. Nick couldn't be here today. He's at our annual...
At first, the areas of the dark tunnel lit up only by their flashlights turn out to be nothing more interesting than graffiti and the occasional piece of litter. However, a few minutes into the exploration, things take a turn when they hear a noise that sounds like someone jumping down into the tunnel behind them. They zoom in on the area and manage to capture a shot of a chilling figure peering back at them. The group runs from the tunnel in terror. Unfortunately, it seems that they ran in the opposite direction to the exit.
We can't go anywhere. We can either climb out, or we can go on the other tunnel. Oh, I'm afraid though.
And they can only leave by heading back into the tunnel. Almost immediately, they begin hearing strange cries coming from the darkness. Soon after, the figure approaches. In the light, we can see a pale humanoid creature walking slowly toward them. Again, the boys run in terror, eventually making it safely to the exit. This next clip is something that, as a parent, you wouldn't want to happen to your child no matter what. This lively baby was playing as any child would. Then he moved forward, as if to take a closer look at something. All of a sudden, he fell back on his back hard, the same way a person would fall after being pushed. If he'd fallen on his butt, it might not have drawn attention, but falling uncontrollably in his back is a different matter entirely. There have been guesses, and the most dominating are those of ghosts. Something strange is about to happen in this relatively calm place. The place looks all peaceful and serene under the night sky, and no one in the world would think anything is unusual. Then a white cat walks into the range of the surveillance camera. The cat comes to a stop, facing away from the building. Then something that leaves question marks happens. The cat looks back at the building, then takes about 2 steps forward and immediately disappears into thin air, just like that, as if it were never there to start with. The scary moment was caught on camera as big lions staged an attack on a man's tent. The loud roaring of the lions cast a terrifying atmosphere, blending with the equally scarier predator. At 5 a.m., the campers saw something frightening outside their tent. Upon a closer look, they discovered it was a lion who soon became roaring. The lion started walking towards their tent, and this scared them to the bone. They tried to conceal their presence, only whispering when necessary. The lion continued walking around the tent in broad daylight, hoping it would capture its prey. At that crucial moment, they decided to stay in the car, which was the safest option. A man narrowly escaped a catastrophic death in the woods when he was attacked by a bear while alone in his tent. The deadly animal walked around the tent looking for a way to enter the tent. Soon it started dragging the tent when it didn't find any. The terrified man hurried to shut every likely hole in the tent, but mistakenly fell, which allowed the bear to bite his feet at one side of the tent. The frightened man struggled to push his legs free after screaming and crying.
Ah! Ah! Ah!
In a distressing incident caught on Walmart's surveillance camera in Alva Acres, Florida, a potential attempted kidnapping was seen. The footage shows a man in khaki shorts grabbing a 4-year-old boy's hand and attempting to walk off with him. Fortunately, the boy's quick-thinking sister intervenes, grabbing her brother's arm and pulling him back to safety. This alarming incident unfolded during the day, raising concerns about safety in public places. After finishing their shopping, the man and the woman he was with proceeded to the register to pay. They were later seen leaving in a black Ford Edge. Captured on camera, a tragic fall led to the death of a teenager, but what truly caused her passing left everyone in shock.
To water riot that turned a day of fun into a living nightmare. This is the story of how a catastrophic lapse in health and safety.
On April 15, 2024, a warm afternoon took a tragic turn at Oakwood Theme Park. What began as a fun outing quickly turned disastrous. Haley, out with her sister and friends for what should have been an exciting day, had no idea that this would be the day she lost her life. They boarded a hydro ride designed to drop from 100 feet, but tragedy struck when Haley's lap bar disengaged, sending her plunging into the lagoon below. Her mother, devastated by the loss, shared Haley's haunting last words, leaving everyone in deep sorrow. Haley was pronounced dead upon arrival at the hospital. The investigation revealed that the fatal accident was due to critical security negligence by the park staff. As a result, the recreational center was fined $250,000 and the park was shut down for 12 months. In a building that looked more like a school or maybe an office, a CCTV camera captured a creepier than creepy sight. In the video, you can see some lockers and what looks like a sign used by janitors standing in front of two doors. The place is silent as everything seems still. Then a sudden banging sound rang out. If anyone had been there, they probably would have been scared. But that's not all. One of the lockers eerily began to shake as if someone were rocking it back and forth. Another locker suddenly opened, and books and papers flew out on their own. Silence regained, and except for the papers on the floor, there was no sign that anything happened at all. But just when it seemed to be over, the lonely sign standing in front of the doors suddenly flew backwards and fell as if someone kicked it. If this isn't the activity of ghosts, then what on earth are they? Okay, seriously, there are some videos that if you wake up to see them, you'll probably faint from fear, and this is one of them. This man's CCTV camera caught something weird in his sitting room. He is fast asleep on the couch, and his black cat is restless, pacing about, indicating that something is off. Then a flash of light shines and keeps moving, as if someone is playing with a flashlight. The light in the room starts flickering, and the poor cat keeps meowing, probably to wake up the being who seems to be having a great time in dreamland. The man must have been genuinely surprised or frightened when he saw the footage. Paranormal activities don't just happen in secluded or quiet places after all. This clip takes us to Bolivia, specifically a school. The teacher is doing his thing on the whiteboard, and the material he is using suddenly comes off. No one thinks anything of it, and the class continues. But then more things begin to happen. The wastebasket moves on its own, and while everyone is wondering what is going on, the table suddenly makes its own move. At this point, everyone is already prepared to bolt, and when something flies from the corner of the class, the students finally make a run for it. Unfortunately, not all criminals have unsuccessful robbery attempts, like this fila. CCTV footage shows the moment this man entered a barbershop, seeming to be just another regular customer needing a haircut. So the barber didn't expect what happened next. The man pulled out a gun and forced the barber to put all the money and valuables into a bag. The criminal then took off running. He would also be hearing from the cops in a few days, as his crime was captured on tape. Strange circular holes on fish, captured on camera, reveal clues to the mystery behind their deaths. Ever wondered what causes these eerie marks on vulnerable prey? These holes, strategically placed, give the fish a haunting appearance. But what's behind them? The attacker, seemingly harmless at first glance, is notorious for creating these mysterious holes. The lamprey, with its deceiving appearance, might make you question if it's truly the culprit behind such gruesome acts. Its secret weapon lies in its terrifying array of teeth, close to a dozen or perhaps hundreds of sharp, needle-like teeth. With this deadly arsenal, the lamprey cuts through the flesh of both large and small animals, feeding on their blood. It strikes unexpectedly, making it nearly impossible for victims to escape. While its attack can be fatal, causing immediate death or slow, agonizing damage to its aquatic prey, larger animals can sometimes recover quickly from its bite. But why are there increasing deaths among bigger creatures due to these circular wounds? In 1950, a survey on Vancouver Island conducted by a group of researchers suggested there might be another deadly marine creature responsible for the widespread destruction of larger animals. Enter the cookie-cutter shark, a bizarre-looking predator behind the deaths of many big marine animals. With 40 teeth on its upper jaw and 20 on its lower jaw, the cookie-cutter shark uses this fearsome set of teeth to inflict its deadly wounds. Uniquely, the cookie-cutter shark is the only known animal that consumes part of its own teeth. It lures unsuspecting prey with its glowing body, then strikes with precision, leaving behind those signature circular bites that continue to baffle and terrify. A man nearly lost his life to a shark during a beach outing. What started as a simple day of fun nearly turned fatal.
Wait, what is that?
Can you see that next to him?
Wait, that shadow.
Can you see that?
No, I swear there's something in there.
There is.
It's gonna. Wait, that guy, do you think he knows?
In the video, the man is seen completely immersed in the bliss of the relaxing atmosphere, unaware that he was swimming in dangerous waters.
Wait, do you think that? Wait, I don't think he realized that. It's getting wet. There's something in the water.
Run! Oh my God! I'm in swim!
Suddenly, a deadly shark emerged from the depths, zeroing in on its unsuspecting prey. The shark's presence was quickly noticed by others on the beach, who began shouting frantically to warn the man. Realizing the imminent danger, he sprang into action, but the shark was already too close for comfort. Just as the situation seemed dire, a rescue boat arrived in the nick of time, preventing what could have been a tragic encounter. A ghost attack on house occupiers that left marks on their bodies was captured on a camera. This seemingly charming house in Hanover, Pennsylvania, hides a dark secret. Despite its outward appearance, it is notorious for being the most haunted house, plagued by ghostly presences and bizarre occurrences. During an interview, the family shared harrowing stories of their encounters with these terrifying entities, which have become so intense that their daughters fled the home in fear. Desperate for relief, the family has sought help from priests and spiritual experts, hoping for divine intervention. After all, this house is their only asset, and they have nowhere else to turn.